वन्दे गुरुपदद्वन्द्वम् अवाङ्मनसगोचरम् रक्तशुक्लप्रभामिश्रम् अतर्क्यम् त्रैपुरम् अहः विशुद्धिज्ञानदेहाय त्रिवेदी दिव्यचक्षुषे श्रेयः प्राप्तिनिमित्ताय नमः सोमार्धधारिणे नमो यामिनीनाथरेखालङ्कृत कुन्तलाम् भवानीं भवसन्तापनिर्वापण सुधानदीम्
सारस्वत सिद्धये शुद्ध सर्वोद्भावलसित वाच्यवाचकात्मा काश्मीरो जयति जगद्धितावतारः स श्रीमान् अभिनवगुप्त देशिकेन्द्रः अमृतेश्वर्यम्बा समेत अमृतानन्दनाथ श्रीगुरुः सर्वकारणभूता शक्तिः। We have to start the shloka, right? These are from the Tantrāloka. This is not the Dvādaśakālī Stotra which Ācārya independently composed. They are a longer, and I will not even say longer versions. They have lot of metaphorical content in that. At least I felt this is more straightforward. Even Ācārya Eraka Stotra also has so much of poetic imagery in it. Not that they are imaginations, but like for example, in the very first shloka, he will start using one knee, Hindu and all that. So then we have to connect what is one knee, what is Hindu and all. Tantrāloka shlokas are much more straight and to the point. So the summary of the previous discussion was that the Dvādaśa Kālī Krama or Naya, it symbolizes the method, no, the Krama, and it deals with the senses, which are the instruments of the cognition process. And it is through the senses that in our activities, the Vimarśana is generated in an individual, one who is still identifies himself as an individual consciousness. That Vimarśana is generated through the cognitive process operating through the senses. But the capacity of the Vimarśanam is drawn from the pure luminous or the pure Chit or the Prakāśa or the bhāsā. Prakāśa is same as the bhāsā. And it is this bhāsā which is reflected in all the other operations. So it's an analytical model of the process of cognition where there is special attention which is paid to the energies associated or the stages associated with cognition, the sense organs, the thoughts accompanying the process of cognition. So we'll move to the first. The first is the Sṛiṣṭikālī. Okay, this belongs to the object or the Prameya Varga. The shloka says, Tatascha prag iyam shuddha tata bhāsā anantotsuka Sṛiṣṭim kalayate devi tan namna agama uchyate. That is so tatascha prag iyam shuddha. That is before, assuming there is a state called before. Okay. She was shuddha. Shuddha in the sense nirvikalpa, free from any vikalpas. Pure awareness, pure consciousness. Shuddha. Then she is endowed with the desire to manifest in a particular way. Tatha abhasana utsuka. Abhasanam, to manifest. Tatha abhasanam, manifesting in a particular way. She is utsuka. She is out of her own creates the interest to manifest in a particular manner. So at that time, she has the kalanam, the power to ideate. Sṛiṣṭim kalayate devi. She undertakes the ideation of Sṛiṣṭi. Sṛiṣṭi is nothing but emission of an object in an objective field of awareness. So she is creating both the objective field of awareness as well as the object, and this process of creation is because of her own autsukyam, her own desire, her eagerness. Therefore, tannamna agama uchyate. She is therefore called by the agama, by the shastras, by that very name itself. Which name? Sṛiṣṭim. So she is Sṛiṣṭikālī. Since she is doing the kalanam and kalanam of the Sṛiṣṭi, she is Sṛiṣṭikālī. She is the ideator. The next Kali is the Raktakālī. This is the sthiti in the Prameya Varga. Shloka says, Tata bhāsita vastvamsha rañjanā sa bahirmukhi svavritti chakrena samam tatopi kalayanti alam sthitiresaiva bhavasya. That shloka continues to the third Kali's description. So that is why that Ardha shloka we are taking a break. Okay. Tatha bhasita. When she is thus bhasita, outwardly focused. Bhasita does not mean outwardly focused, but our understanding has to be when she is thus outwardly focused. Bhasita means when she appears. Tatha means that in that manner. So in which manner? In the manner of being outwardly focused. Okay? Tata bhasita vastvamsha rañjanā. She, now the kalanam, what is the, see, every nama there is Kali, right? So we have to explain kalanam everywhere. The kalanam, the ideation is that of vastvamsha rañjanam. The ideation is of coloring the object. Okay, vastu amsha, vastvamsha rañjanam. Rañjanam means coloring. So coloring the object aspect of the reality. So she ideates on the coloring of the object. Vastvamsha rañjanam. Why? Bahirmukhi. She is outwardly focused. Svavritti chakrena samam. Okay. Vritti chakra. What is vritti? Vritti here stands for the activity of the senses. Svavritti chakrena. Through her or through the sense activity of, or through her own sense activity. Svavritti chakrena. Samam is along with that. Okay, saha in that sense. Svavritti chakrena samam. Tatopi kalayanti. So this is the ideation. So rañjanam kalayanti. And what is this vritti chakra doing? The vritti chakra, the sense activity, which is consisting of the various perceptions of forms, okay, perceptions of objects or forms. She is one with it. She is harmonious with it. She is in an harmonious existence with the objects which she has colored, and this harmony is because of her vritti chakra. Why? The sense organs are the ones which interact with the objects. Sense organs are also manifestations of her own, right? We have already seen. They are the Devis. When we explained about the Shakti Chakra Samhara. Shakti Chakra is nothing but sense organs are also part of the Shakti Chakra. So, the sense organs, which are her manifestation, when they reach out to the object, which she herself has ideated, the sense organs are in harmony with the objects. And this constitutes the status or the preservation of the perception of the object. Since there is a status here, this is the sthiti of the Prameya. Bhavasya esha sthiti. This is the sthiti of the bhava. Bhava is object. Third is Sṛiṣṭikālī. Tam antarmukhata rasat sanjihirshuhu sthitehe nasham kalayanti nirichyate. The next moment, that is after the sthiti. Tam antarmukhata rasat. She experiences an urge to withdraw the state of immersion in the object perception. Antarmukhata. Antarmukhata is withdrawing the state of immersion in the object, which was under perception. By rasat. Rasa here means bliss, ananda. So under the influence of ananda, of the experience, she experiences or she cultivates an urge to withdraw. So this introversion results in the awareness returning inwards. Okay. Sanjihirshuhu. Sanjihirsha means hartumichuhu sanjihirshuhu. Desire to destroy or desire to withdraw. Hartumichu. So desire to withdraw. So sanjihirshuhu sthitehe sanjihirshuhu. She is now withdrawing the state of sthiti, the state of immersion in the object. Therefore, nasham kalayanti. She brings an end. So, since she is kalayanti, she is ideating the cessation, the nasha of the preceding sthiti. She is called accordingly. Nirichyate means accordingly. She is called as. So, sthiti nasha kali. Now, here the point to be noted is rasat. Every cognition is capable of generating the highest bliss according to our system. That is why in many texts, including Vijnana Bhairava and others, we say that any sensual experience can result in the Pratyabhignana. Because we are not mentally trained to the extent that we can experience rapture in every experience, Vijnana Bhairava says, at least in those experiences which are very intense. Okay, it could be satiating any sensory perception. It could be eating something which is extremely delicious. It could be drinking something which is very, very nice. It could be smelling something which is very, very pleasant. Looking at something which is breathtaking. Hearing something which is very, very mellifluous. Anything can happen through any of the five. So, Sṛiṣṭikālī is that state of consciousness which is intent on reabsorbing the prameya, no, the object, because of her introversion, her antarmukata, as much as that she dissolves the status of the previous cognition, wherein it was the object was persisting. Next is Yama Kālī. This is corresponding to the anakhya state of the Prameya, that is the object. Okay, let's see the shloka. Tatopi samhara rase purne. Tatopi samhara rase purne. Vignakarim swayam. Shankam yamatmikam bhage. Sute samharate api cha. Yamakali is one who both projects and withdraws a yama. No, a sense of curb or a control. We'll try to understand the shloka and then we'll see what it means. Tataha api samhara rase purne. Samhara rase purne. When the reabsorption, okay, initiated in the previous stage. When the samhara, okay, the rasa of the samhara, okay, the relish of reabsorption, when it is purne, when it is at its height, samhara rase purne, tatopi samhara rase purne, vignakarim swayam, she herself brings forth an obstacle. Obstacle in the sense, she brings forth an obstacle on the side of her bahirmukhata, on the side of her extroversion. So when she is, or when that reabsorption is happening at its height, she stops, or rather, she brings a curb on her extroversion. In the sense, her desire to project herself as an external field, in an external field of objectivity. Shankam yamatmikam bhage sute samharate apicha. Shankam, this curb is termed as Shanka. Shanka means a sense of doubt or anxiety. Okay, not doubt, anxiety. Shankam, yamatmikam shankam. The anxiety in this curb on extrovert or external projection. Okay, as object. Sute samharate picha. She was the one who had brought it forth as Sṛiṣṭikālī. Sute means gives birth. Samharate picha. And she was the one who had withdrawn it into herself in the Sṛiṣṭikālī, as Sṛiṣṭikālī. She has been projecting the objects outside herself, in sense, outside the sphere of I. The experience of object has happened in the process of cognition. Now, after the cognition has ended, the experience also dissolves. Okay, this cycle goes on and on and on and on till a point where she decides to put an end to this projection of objects outside the subjective sphere. I don't think we can explain it in those four avastha concept. Okay, that is more of how subject experiences the world. From that point of view, you have the Jagrat, the Swapna, the Sushupti, and the Turyavastha. Here, what we are talking is when the see, through the process of sadhana, when a person reaches a point wherein his kanchukas, okay, which were very, very strong and binding and giving him a sense of conviction of his limitedness, okay, limitedness in jnana, kriya, okay, and ichha, is slackened. Because we should remember, the kanchukas were put on by Shiva upon himself by his own free will. Now, through the sadhana, that kanchuka is being removed, but it is not fully out. Okay, it is not fully gone away. From the mala point of view, when the karmika and the mayika malas have receded and only Anavamala is left. When only the Anavamala is left. At that point, the field of objectivity will no longer be there. The field of objectivity will no longer be there. There will be only field of subjectivity within which the object will operate. So that Idanta will operate within the sphere of Aham. When he is experienced as Aham Idam or Idam Aham, not Idam Idam. Till this time it was Idam Idam. Okay, now it is either Aham Idam or Idam Aham. So this application of curb, that Yamanam, is happening at that stage of cognition. So why is it Anakhya stage? Why is this explained as the Anakhya? Anakhya is where there is we are talking from the transcendental consciousness point of view. Okay, it is an aspect of objective transcendence. You are transcending beyond the space of objectivity. Therefore, in the Prameya set of the four, this Yamakali is falling under the Anakhya. What happens now is, even when he goes out, earlier he was convinced the difference is absolute. Now he knows that the difference is not at all absolute. Difference is self-projected. So the moment he withdraws the difference, he will go back to his Atma Rama state.